Bricks video. Today we're going to be doing a review of 2014's Lego Imperial Star Destroyer. We have the set right here. This set comes with around, I believe, 6 minifigures, 2 Stormtroopers, an Imperial commandant, Darth Vader, an Imperial officer of some sort, I believe a crew member actually, and then another Imperial crew member, a different kind, more of like a gunner. So yeah, let's get into this. Alright, so starting off with our minifigures, we have our 6 minifigures here. 2 Imperial Stormtroopers, 1 exclusive Darth Vader, I believe he's exclusive to the set, forgive me if I'm incorrect. An Imperial Commandant, an Imperial crew member, and then I believe this is also another, like an Imperial gunner. So yeah, we're going to start off with our 2 Stormtroopers. Here we go. Alright, so starting off with our 2 Stormtroopers, which are not exclusive to this set, we get pretty much the standard Stormtrooper for 2014, which is one of my favorites and probably one of the best renditions of Stormtroopers, and I believe if I had to choose any of the Stormtroopers to bring back, because there's tons of different variants, it would have to be probably these guys, but if not these guys, definitely this Stormtrooper, who I had to lean down to pick up there, but definitely that guy. But these guys are probably the ones I'd want to bring back, so yeah, let's get into it. So with our Imperial, oh my, with our Stormtrooper here, he obviously, they both have the same angry clone face print, and then they have a back print showing like the back of a Stormtrooper, some leg printing, nothing on the sides, no arm printing, no printing on the back of their helmet, obviously no secondary face. And then they have, their blaster's actually not black, it's kind of like a silver. Let me see if I can get that in the light pretty well. There you go. It's not actually black, it's more of a silver. Honestly, standard Stormtrooper, I actually love them. I mean, just a wonderful looking Stormtrooper. And I don't think much else compares to them. So yeah, that's your Stormtroopers. Alright, so just real quick, you can tell there's some more lights now. There's 2. I thought maybe a little bit of a brighter surface would be nicer for a review. So anyways, this is our Imperial crew member, who, the only, I think, really different thing about the other one that comes in the Galactic Empire Battle Pack is this little hat here, which is interesting. So he has just a standard Imperial crew member kind of clothing, which would actually come, yeah, I believe, yeah, the exact same as what comes in an ATST, aside from his face print and his hat, of course. Same back printing, no difference at all, actually. But yeah, so he has some leg printing, no arm printing. As for the UCS Imperial Star Destroyer, I believe they do have arm printing. Back printing, very limited, just some kind of folds in the clothing and a nice black belt. And in the front printing, just going on to the front printing again, we have the belt included with like a belt buckle and a little comm link. And then you can see where he buttons up the shirt, or Velcro would probably, it'd probably be Velcro. And that's about it. Obviously no back face print because, you know, the hat does not cover that up. And then he has a little bit of a, what would be kind of a, again, comm link, I guess you could say, or a microphone for a headset going down to his mouth. He kind of has the same as like the angry clone face, just without the anger in it. And his hat has a little signia, which most likely is signifying his crew member status on his hat, or his part in the Imperial Navy. So yeah, that's your Imperial crew member. Next up is our Imperial gunner, or at least that's what I believe it is. I believe this figure came in multiple different sets, including the Imperial Death Star 2016, if that's when it came out. I may be incorrect, but I believe it was 2016. So anyways, he has that normal, kind of pretty much the same print all around, even on the back, as that guy, just in a different color, aside from his belt not having the little comm link. He also has no secondary face print, and pretty much has the exact same head, with the exact same little microphone there. His helmet, however, is much different, which is, it's kind of like a cone that goes down, and on the top, he's got a bunch of little holes in it, with some pieces on the sides here, if you can see those pretty well. A standard Imperial gunner figure looks pretty good, and is a pretty good conclusion to the Death Star. The Star Destroyer, whoa. Next up is the Imperial Commandant. This figure, I believe, is also exclusive to this set. I may be incorrect, so don't quote me on that, but I believe he's exclusive to this set. So this figure has a pretty nice, I mean, no secondary face print, but a pretty nice face print. He's got some brown eyebrows, kind of a unhappy looking face, a little bit angry. He's got some nice sideburns, which I do have to compliment him on. The pretty much exact same hat as the Imperial crew member, but what really comes in difference is the print on the torso. He has a little bit of a thicker belt. Here, if we pull that to the side of him, his belt is a little bit thicker, just a smidge. And instead of a comm link, he has a little dot there with a much larger belt buckle. On his back, he has this, obviously the big belt continues, and then a different actually print on the back, just slightly different, less wrinkles, showing he's a little bit more disciplined per se. And then on the front, he has his ranking insignia, signifying that he is a commandant with his two little pen things, which I believe are some sort of key. Actually, I believe we see that somewhere. Otherwise, pretty good figure. No arm printing, obviously no back head printing, no leg printing, but actually not a bad figure. And he goes for about $50 too. So yeah, pretty nice. Our third and final figure is, of course, Darth Vader, who comes with a lightsaber. Standard lightsaber, don't worry, I have it placed correctly as it should be placed. Nobody can change that. And then he has, I believe his torso print's actually exclusive for the time for the Vaders with this specific helmet. I believe he has a different torso print. We're going to take this lightsaber off him real quick. Don't roll away. No. He has a small little, oh, actually he has no back printing, sorry, but a completely different torso print. I do have another, I believe this is the most current Darth Vader, so this is what he looks like compared to the most current Darth Vader. His printing is actually slightly different. I know it's going to be hard to tell there that it's any different at all, but if you look at the little life support system on his chest, you can tell the difference, along with a little bit of a change in belt, and his pauldron, I think that's what that is, I'm going to call it a pauldron because that's what it is actually a little bit thicker on this older figure. Now, the main difference comes in when the helmet's off. So on our newest guy, he's just white, like Voldemort white, which I believe isn't very accurate. But on this one, which makes him very exclusive to the set, he is yellow and has his angry Sith eyes, which are awesome to include. He's got some pink around his face. It kind of does make him look like Palpatine a little bit, but yeah. And then he has this nice, vibrant red cut, and then that also scar. I mean, these are both scars, but that looks more like a cut to me. So yeah, he's a pretty good looking figure. I actually love this figure, and I love the inclusion of him in the set. He also has some leg printing there. But yeah, pretty good figure. So yeah, that's Darth Vader. Now here's the meat and potatoes of this set. I'm sorry for the big mess in the background. We're going to put a big white sheet over there for the next reviews, but I'm also going to get a bigger table because I'm trying to compare these two Star Destroyers, a different Imperial Star Destroyer and this one. And yeah, it's going to be pretty hard to fit them on this little ass table, but... So... on this Imperial Star Destroyer, we have, I mean, it's just beautiful. I love the outside of it. I mean, I just love it. I mean, the crack actually isn't, I mean, the only really open space is this right here. You could call this a little bit open right here, but not very noticeable, especially from the side. It's just a beautiful looking set. I love it. Especially the bridge, really detailed. You have this sticker right here showing the classic Imperial Star Destroyer kind of bridge there. And then you have the two little balls, which were confirmed as, I think, not shields. I can't remember what they were confirmed as, but they weren't shields. They're like targeting systems, actually, for the anti-aircraft. So speaking of anti-aircraft, here are these little turrets on the side. So these have a little lever back here, if you can see that, which you pull or push, depending on the direction, and it will move these back and forth like that. Obviously, they don't go very smooth, especially because my set's a little bit old. There you go. There. Now they're going smooth. Now, obviously, you can't go quite super smooth, so there's going to be, like, for me, there's a little flick right there, but nonetheless, it looks pretty good. But yeah, I mean, just look at that. That looks amazing. I mean, you can't tell me that's not a beautiful set. Another thing is this is the handle right here, which you see in a lot of the larger Imperial sets especially, which where it is perfectly balanced. Literally perfect. So it, I mean, actually it's a little bit of a bend down, but that's probably because my arm. Perfectly balanced, picking the Star Destroyer up like that. I mean, wow. Very comfortable to hold. Pretty easy to hold with one arm, so yeah. And then let's go to the back of the Star Destroyer here. Turning our Star Destroyer around now. We see the engines. Just want to make sure it doesn't flip off, but it's not going to because it's very heavy up here. So we see our engines. Actually, here we'll adjust our camera just a little bit. All right, so we see our engines in the back of our bridge, which actually flips up to store these two flick-fire missiles. But yeah, the engines, they don't rotate or anything. No special functions. Actually, that does rotate, but obviously they don't all rotate at the same time, so no real special functions. Looks pretty good. I love the kind of like the black in here, kind of showing shadows or like a deeper area in there. I mean, it's just amazing looking. I just love this set so much. Just such a beautiful Star Destroyer from the back, from all angles, almost even the bottom, which looks pretty good. We're going to go to our side one more time here. Just to go here, which looks pretty good. You can see, I mean, that looks almost perfect. into the bottom of our Star Destroyer here, which is actually pretty large, so not quite sure how I want to flip it to the bottom, especially because I don't want to break it. So we're gonna, yeah, there. So yeah, the bottom is just flat. So I mean, if you're hanging it, if you're one of the people that hangs them, you know, boo-hoo, but for normal display, it looks pretty good. So yeah, that's the outside of our Imperial Star Destroyer. All right, so pushing our Star Destroyer up a little bit here to actually access part of the interior, you pull off this top piece here and slide it forward. And that is what you get access to. I will say the handle doesn't look very charming on the inside, but something you have to deal with. I mean, this bridge is pretty easily removable. So here, I can actually remove it for you. We're gonna take these down, not all the way, because actually we'll take them down all the way. God. Oh, that sounds horrible. The actual interior of these doesn't look very good, but obviously it's not what you're gonna have on display, and that's more for children and for play. So to actually take these off, you pull that off there, and that off there. So what I was gonna say, I was hoping that this would actually stay attached to it. Ooh, I'm pulling off a little bit too much. Okay, well, I'm sure you get the point, and I really don't want to rip apart my Star Destroyer because I've already knocked a couple pieces off here. Alright, so we're just gonna put that back on. Oh my. Oh, where'd the Emperor's hologram go? Oh. Okay, well, that's an issue. We'll find that later. Alright, let's go. We'll start off with this side. So on this side, we have a little command deck type of thing. I believe that's what that is, unless that's a chair for Darth Vader. Actually, that might be a chair for Darth Vader, which looks interesting, to say the least. Not too fancy. Obviously, I'm using my hand to cover it up, so sorry. We're going to move our camera here down a little bit. Okay, so that's what that looks like. So pretty interesting. And then you have a control panel here. So I'll pick up our camera so you can see that control panel. There's your control panel right there. And you have a second control panel right over there. And then going to the other side of our Star Destroyer is slowly turn her around. You have where the Emperor's hologram was supposed to be right there, which looks pretty good. And it's a little spinning plate. And you have this little area showing what looks to be the Death Star, actually. Here, I'll take that off, actually. Oops. Show that to you. So if you look at that, you can see the Death Star in the corner there, another image of the Death Star. So I assume that this was portraying, or supposed to portray, a Star Destroyer that was near the Death Star during its, explosion. Or first Death Star, by the way, that's not the second. And up here's the actual bridge area, which okay, that's a little loose. Sorry for the set being a little dusty, but in the bridge area, you can put like your commandant walking on the bridge here. It does not close. I mean, it can, but I'll show you, not very handsomely. Your commandant walking the bridge there. You can put a crew member over here, looking at a little panel, which is down there. These panels on the side. Now you can put your gunner in the seat over here. I'll sit him down for you. And I'm not quite sure of this. I believe you can put like a Stormtrooper just kind of sitting or standing right there. And then you can close that up and it will hit this guy. As said, you can't really fit him in there. But you can fit those two on perfectly. The Stormtrooper can sit in there. Then you put your commandant in there. That sound is horrible. I'm so sorry. You could sit your commandant on the bridge, but I see no real reason to. So your commandant can go right there, or you can put him looking at this little Death Star schematic over here on this side. And then obviously you can put Lord Vader sitting in this chair. But yeah, pretty nice interior.